Hi, you are listening to Raw Organism, a flowcast where I question everything I think I know and don't know. Like, why do I do the things I do? How can I unlearn to relearn? It's about some personal stories, low moments, funny adventures, nutrition, mental and physical health. Anyways, big questions like, how the hell do I do this thing called life? Stay tuned. Hi everyone. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. We are recording at what? It's December 8th, Sunday. It's 5:50. It's dark here already in Vancouver, British Columbia. And I have
We're just going to let people know where we live. What if they're stalkers? We should be saying certain information.
I didn't say the street. If I mention the construction that's happening.
Oh, now you just mentioned that's construction. There's only a few places.
But then they'll have to look a lot.
I'm just playing.
Well, did I? Okay, yeah. So Ash, I brought Ash on, and Ashley is my partner. We've been together for
just over 5 years.
Yes.
Don't get in a relationship, y'all. Don't do it. Someone help me.
Stop it. I feel like no. It's probably goes in today's society. It's not easy, especially in Vancouver. People are having a hard time.
Yeah, dating.
Finding partners and commitment. Yeah, I feel like everyone wants to. It's just like social media. It's like you scroll 5 minutes, you're hooked onto something 5 minutes after you want to switch.
I think it's a lack of organic connections. Yeah, just finding people who are themselves, who are real.
That's true.
Yeah,
but then some
who
people
don't live
also
behind a mask.
Some people also don't know how to recognize.
That's true.
When someone
you need to find yourself first.
Amen. Okay. Well, okay. So wait, let me start with this. I have a passage I want to read because we're gonna be talking about our experience juicing, and I think it's interesting because I've had a first experience and I was very excited about it. And Ash is usually more of the like, okay, cool. But then having questions and still having not concerns. Doubts, but I guess so. And until she tries, and after a while she sees what's the benefit for her, the gain, and then she now suddenly becomes like, oh, okay, let's do it. You want to juice? Let's juice. So, even sometimes when I want to eat, she's like, oh no, I want to juice. Let's juice. Why don't we start juicing? So there you go. Hey.
Sorry.
Yeah, we just received an Amazon package. Actually, it's my package, so you know what?
That's always her package. Always.
I got a money to spend, Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so our experiences are a little different and interesting, and I feel like she has a lot, like for people who are like, oh yeah, I'm into the protein, I don't know my meat, I don't want to let go. Not that I'm telling you to let it go, because I don't give a damn what you do. If it's not about, oh, you have to do this or that. It's not about that. I'm just sharing my experience, and she's just gonna share her experience, and hopefully that inspires people to be like, okay, yeah, I can try and see what works, because until you try something, you really don't know how it's going to affect you. And I feel like on Ashley's part, because initially she was kind of doubtful or had more questions, then after experiencing it, she got to see the benefits, and now she realized, oh yeah, actually that's that's good. So
plant-based life is beautiful. Yeah. I've definitely seen a lot of benefits, so I can't wait to, share my experience to the best of my knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me start with a quote I found in a book I thought was interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let me read it to you, because I didn't read it to you. Okay. Suppose the old type of salesmanship, acting for a meat packer, was seeking to increase the sale of bacon. It would reiterate innumerable times in full-page advertisements. Eat more bacon. Eat bacon because it is cheap, because it is good, because it gives you reserve energy. The newer salesmanship Understanding the group structure of society and principles of mass psychology would first ask, who is it that influences the eating habits of the world? The answer, obviously, is the physicians. The new salesman will then suggest to physicians to say publicly that it is wholesome to eat bacon. He knows as a mathematical certainty that large numbers of persons will follow the advice of their doctors because he understands the psychological relation of dependence of men upon their physicians. And that's by Edward Bernays, and the book is called Propaganda, The Public Mind in the Making. It's like what, from the early 1900s, somewhere like this. Let me see if I can quickly find it. Otherwise, I'll just put it, 1928. Wow. Yeah, very early. It's an interesting book. But yeah, so I thought I would start with it because I feel like it is on the subject, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I think that yeah, throughout our lives we are told what we should be eating versus first of all listening to our bodies, because everybody's body is different and your body will tell you what it does and does not like. But some of y'all who don't like to eat fruits and vegetables, your body loves that shit, so please eat it. Don't say, oh, my body doesn't like vegetables and fruits. That's a fucking lie. I could cuss on here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Y'all know that's a lie. But yeah, I remember being in like, elementary, high school, and, you get shown the food pyramid and you got to have this much dairy and this much alternatives and meat and blah, 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 versus throughout experience, like, I was a vegetarian for 8 years, ate meat again for a year, and now we're both plant-based. With some flexibility, right? Because you still like enjoy yourself, it's where we don't have a whip in our, or like, it's not like anyone has a whip in their hand being like, be plant-based, like a plant-based lifestyle is healthy. And I'm sure we'll kind of get into that as the conversation continues. But obviously, it's just a choice, for me, a plant-based lifestyle is a part of the choice of loving myself, because I know that my body and my mind, my mental health, like there are huge benefits that I see just from choosing to live this lifestyle, and then I as I like to say, when people ask, oh, you're plant-based, I'm like, yeah, I'm 90% plant-based, but that 10% I leave open for, to enjoy myself. If I want a juicy beef burger, I'm gonna have one, just not every day.
Okay. Do you think you loved yourself before, because before switching our diets, and we changed our diets back in like 2024. We're still in 2024 at the time of the recording, but we switched our diet in like May, like for the beginning
of this
year.
May. Yeah, that's true.
So for me, I realized when we switched the diets and doing the juicing that the amount of information I gained, or the knowledge I gained about myself now, that I know how food is impacting me. I'm like, oh, now I feel like I love myself more. But before, I thought I really loved myself. Like, I love my body, I was taking care of it when I was not depressed. That's another story. But I really thought that, yeah, I love my body. I'm taking care of my face. I'm taking care of, like, I go to the gym now regularly. My mom always taught us, like, oh, I don't want people like you cry, or, oh, someone call me ugly, all that. No, she was always like, no, you need to love yourself, before someone else loves you. It's not,
and you need to understand what it means personally to you to love yourself. Love thyself, know thyself.
So now, so now I feel like with the experience I've gained, I'm like, now I can say that, yes, because I am aware of how the body works and how the food I eat impacts me. Now I can say, yeah, I love myself when I make like good decisions in terms of what I'm gonna eat. You know what I mean? Because I'm more aware.
Yeah, I feel like that comes like learning to love yourself, just, in this context of being, healthy eating and plant-based or, raw organism. It comes from understanding, understanding yourself, doing that research, like, obviously, like, you have your reasons for going to a plant-based lifestyle. I have my own reasons, right? And I feel like that curiosity and gaining understanding of how foods impact you, it's definitely a part of, loving yourself. Yeah, to love yourself, you have to search for understanding about yourself. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, your question was, did I love myself before
And do you love
going?
yourself more now?
I've always loved myself, that's for sure.
But
But
me
I
too.
definitely, I mean, of course, we're two bad bitches who love ourselves and each other. Yes, I have definitely like always loved myself, and I think that like my journey into becoming a vegetarian was a part of that as well. Just growing up in a family where, I mean, we're Caribbean, so there's curry goat, jerk chicken, there's dumplings, there's a lot of things there that are healthy. Like we do eat a lot of greens like callaloo, cabbage, and carrots and all that stuff, right? But I find that most meals were meat centric. So becoming a vegetarian was definitely a part of that process of, loving myself. And I feel like that's an ongoing process anyways. So in the context of food, I definitely feel like I've always loved myself. But in a way, without a way of knowing how to put it into words, I do agree that, yeah, I love myself more because I've gained more understanding of what works for me nutritionally.
Okay.
Yeah, like I really see the benefits and I love it because obviously like before that, having like stomach issues, it just doing the
So,
juicing and
well, then
yeah.
okay, let's start here. What were you experiencing before we even switched our diet? What were you experiencing, whether you were aware of it or not? Because now that you can reflect back, you'll know the difference, right? So now, what? I don't know. Yeah, what were you experiencing in terms of your body that made you maybe feel uncomfortable, or like that now you reflect back and it was.
Well, let's see. I definitely think that let's start with my vegetarian my vegetarian journey. I definitely didn't research enough to kind of like I as someone who obviously like I exercise a lot. I knew a lot about training certain exercises, but I never got into the whole like your macros and micros and your protein and all that stuff. Like that kind of came a little bit later, right? And obviously, as you know, at some point in my vegetarian journey, I was just getting sick a lot, right? And I went to your Chinese medical doctor, who specializes in Chinese medicine, not just a medical doctor who's Chinese. This is a doctor who specializes in Chinese medicine. Yeah, acupuncture and all that stuff. And they were explaining how I continued to get sick back to back, et cetera, because my red blood cells, like there was a low turnover rate because I wasn't having red meat and all that stuff. So if I wanted to feel better, then like immediately, and I had a music performance, I think a week from then or something like that, of that sort. If I wanted to feel better immediately, because I was super sick, they suggested that I start eating meat right away, which is what I did, and I only did it because I I was just tired of getting sick a lot,
Yeah.
you know? So that experience in itself kind of made me aware that, not saying vegetarianism is bad or incorrect, but, you know, like, do your research, know how much intake of a particular thing that your body needs to function. You know, that's very, very important, because obviously you could end up getting sick just by not having the right knowledge, you know? And I'm sorry, baby, you might have to repeat your question, because,
Okay.
you know, I go on tangents and then I'm just like, oh, wait, where was I?
Okay, wait. My question was, now that you're aware of, like, now obviously we changed our diet.
Yeah.
So you can reflect back and see what were the things that
Yeah,
were
yeah, yeah.
painful or like, you know, uncomfortable that you were experiencing.
So, yeah, that was my vegetarianism experience. Now, like I said previously, I started eating meat. It was, I think, like just over a year. And then we switched over to a plant-based diet. So while eating meat, not like high proportions of meat, you know, we still ate a lot of fruits and vegetables and all that stuff. And, you know, refined things like, you know, the white flour and the white rice and carbs and all that stuff. And obviously there's a lot of stuff going on with meat and stuff that's in the meat that we don't even know. But I took a food sensitivity test, so I have high sensitivity to certain things. Obviously, I'm lactose intolerant, and I was still, like, you know, having dairy and all that stuff. But, you know, we further kind of learned a lot about dairy, which is, it's some shit, you know. Cow pus milk. Y'all drinking cow pus milk. But anyways,
Not judging.
Not judging. Yeah, this is a safe space. We listen and we don't judge. But this is just, you know, me. This is us just being real.
Yeah.
And real is all that you could be, right? So, yeah, apart from that, I was, like, experiencing, like, a lot of bloating. I mean, I like that my body would you know, it would eliminate, you know, what I would eat, but it seemed like too often, and most times it would be kind of like a struggle, you know, the process.
Oh, I thought it was
and
pretty
I would
easy.
feel sometimes it depends on, like, what I would eat, because sometimes I could feel things like moving through. You know, and it was extremely, extremely uncomfortable. And it's like every time that I ate something, I just would immediately just feel bloated, feel uncomfortable. And the difference is that when I switched over to a plant-based diet, I no longer had those problems.
And then you realize, like, it feels really good.
It feels really good. It feels extremely good not to always be uncomfortable after I eat something. You know, and I feel like my body is very, like, it's regulated now, and it has a really good routine, and it's amazing.
So wait, because if we go back to your experience being like, let me speak closer to my, your experience being a vegetarian, right? The thing is, when I reflect back on that, it could have been a better experience for you, and I participated in that, where, like, I came and I moved here, and just on my own I started eating less meat anyways. So when we met, I was already, like, not eating, like, maybe once or twice a week, right? So it's like as if I was vegetarian at the same time. But I think around that period, we were still eating, like, a lot of, like, dairy, right?
Carbs too,
a lot of
refined
carbs. Yeah. So I think that if we had removed that and we were sticking to more vegetables and more fruits, and we were still having, like,
stuff,
exactly, our diet was not as varied as it is now. And that's just, I think, how most people eat without realizing it, because I was like, I'm eating healthy. I'm healthy, you know. I'm having the cheese a little bit every day with, like, a toast. We were having we were having cheese.
All I want to say is, and, you know, I'm not religious, but I love this saying, My people suffer for the lack of knowledge.
Yeah, no, and it is true. But I feel like when it's regarding food, we don't want to know. And
Yeah.
even when we do know, it's still like, oh, but like, it's like, how
so
can I explain?
good. Like how, like you have to change.
You want to enjoy.
Yeah.
You want to enjoy. You don't want to feel like you're restricted in terms of food. And that's why when after the first juicing, right, I went outside and people are like, oh, leave a little. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I was not living before, because when you switch your diet and you start experimenting and you see what food does what to you, because it's impossible that after 21 days, all of a sudden, when I go and I eat white rice, something I've been eating my whole life, never had an issue, then all of a sudden it fucks my stomach up. Like I could not sleep. That time we ate sushi, I don't know how, that was probably like,
I remember that, yeah.
I the first juicing, I did it for 21 days. And so we're going to enter in your first week.
Yeah.
But, and then after that, it took me like 2 weeks to go back to adding more foods, right? So it was probably like maybe 3-4 weeks after the juicing. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to eat white rice. Why would he fuck up my stomach? Because I've been eating the white rice for all my life. It shouldn't be a problem. Like, no one can just build an intolerance in like 2 months. You know what I mean? It's not possible, right? So I ate this, and I remember that night. It's probably the first night after the fast that I remember not sleeping, because from the moment I started the fast until that night, it was the first time in I don't know how long that I actually slept every night and woke up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and woke up like I did not toss around. And I remember I used to toss around.
Yeah,
and feel like
a hard time staying asleep.
Yeah. And around 4 you wake up, and then you start going back to bed whenever like the alarm is going, and then you feel tired, like, you know what I mean? So anyways, but yeah, I feel like it's the fear. Even now this week, right, I've been eating more like outside of the diet a little bit, because it's that period of the year. There was like the Christmas,
refined flowers, all that stuff. Yeah.
So there was the Christmas party, the Thanksgiving with some friends, right? So I feel like once you open that door a little bit, if you're not careful,
you overindulge.
And then you start noticing that, you're going towards those things that are not that healthy.
And then your body shows you that it doesn't like it.
And then your body does that. So now this whole week I've noticed like my stomach is more like larger. I feel more bloated. I've been sleeping, not a problem, but it's just like, I noticed, wow, it's been a long time since I felt uncomfortable. And even before we switched our diet, the thing is, I didn't know I felt heavy. You don't know. You know what? You know the feeling of like you just cut your hair, like for the first time, you shave it, and you're like, oh my God, I can feel like air,
the feeling
shower
that you've never felt before, and you're just like, I didn't even know that I was quote unquote heavy. And we're not talking about weight or anything like that. No, it's not weight. We're not talking about weight. If you can read in between the lines or listen in between the lines.
It's like all of a sudden you can feel the air, you can feel the wind, you can feel the water.
Feels different. It feels lighter.
Yeah, and then when your hair grows back, you can't feel the water anymore. You're like, God damn, I kind of missed feeling like, the water on my like bald head, So it's that feeling where you don't know until you've experienced something else. You don't know how food affects you until you've let go of some things for a while, and then you come back to it, and then you see, oh my God, now you actually realize, oh, this is how it's affecting me. Okay. And then you can choose what you want to do.
I feel like there is a necessity to be open to experimentation. If, for example, in science experiments, they have the control group and then the other group. So one group is, they don't give the I don't know, whatever they're giving to the other group.
Medication.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other one is just so they see like the effects, right? And a lot of people will judge and be like, oh, well, you know, I don't need to do this, or like just very doubtful, or just afraid, I think, of the outcome. But you know, don't knock it until you try it. You know, try it and see. You know, like, for example, you know, before actually dedicating myself to the whole juicing process, you know, as you mentioned, I was doubtful of like, oh, how am I going to get like enough protein? I'm going to get like super skinny and blah, 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 blah. Until I tried, and I was just like, oh, like this is really lit. Like I feel amazing. I'm still able to get my protein in.
Okay, wait.
I didn't lose a lot of muscle mass. Let me take a sip because my throat is dry. But one more thing I want to kind of further dig into, which is what you said about, when you ate sushi after, you know, fasting, and then after a couple of weeks, you kind of started slowly incorporating like solids by starting with fruits, etc. And how like, I noticed too that when I go outside of my plant-based diet and maybe I like overindulge, you know, a little bit more than I should, my stomach keeps me up at night. Like you feel like I'll try to go to
good sleeps.
I am generally having really good sleeps, but if I've eaten something, for example, it doesn't even have to be dairy, you know, just I don't know, because you know at work we have snacks, right?
Yeah.
So if I like have a few cookies, you know, I'm not going overboard, but it's like I'm eating like super clean for a while, and then I'm like that spike of like, you know, indulging, and then at some point in the middle of the night, like I just feel my stomach, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna try to go back to sleep, but I can't. Because the stomach's like, girl, what have you done? You know?
And you know
you
now.
must suffer the consequences.
But now we know that's the difference. So now I feel like whenever we go outside, right? And we indulge. Like I know now, oh yeah, I might not sleep tonight. Or I might have like a night that's uncomfortable. Now I do feel things moving in my stomach. Like yesterday, like I felt things moving in my stomach. And it feels like a ball. That's like just at some point it's on the right side, and then at some point it's on the left side, and I'm like, oh no, something is moving.
Something is moving,
and I'm like, no, you know. But okay. So let's start with the first juicing experience, okay? Because you did not do it fully.
No.
I did the full 21 days, because obviously I have.
Very proud of you.
Thank you. Okay. But okay, wait. So I did the full 21 days. You did like a week, but I remember one of your big issue was the protein. And you remember how many times I was like, no, but listen, the protein is not coming from the meat, whatever, and everything I was listening to, right, from different doctors. Because what I like is I find a doctor that's saying something, and then I find another doctor who's saying the same thing, and another doctor who's saying the same thing. And then I'm like, first of all, I don't even know how I found all these information. It feels like I was not looking and it just came to me. And you know, people usually tell you like, sometimes you might not be looking for something, but it just comes to you. And you just, at that moment, you decide to pay attention. So maybe I had seen something before. I just didn't pay attention to it, right? And it came at the moment where I was looking for this type of information. So yeah, so all these doctors I've been finding are just saying the same thing, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in the US or North America, or like in Asia, all saying like
you've been finding the same information in the books you've been reading as
in
well.
the books, when books that are from like the early 1900s about fasting, etc. as well. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, when you start reading all this, you're like, they knew all this already? What the fuck are we talking about? Oh, this is some new research and shit.
As if brand new.
It's not new. And
it's been out.
And in those very books, they're like, oh, we keep recycling things. Like they keep saying, oh, this is a new research, and like, no, we knew that before. It's just coming back, right? It's just like fashion trends. Like
it's it's slowly been on the rise. We're just kind of seeing it now.
We go back to vintage stuff because it's like, oh, it has more things, and in a couple of years, maybe people will go back to what we're wearing now.
Yeah.
You know, and that
So yeah, plant based is nothing new.
yeah, it's not. It's very much not new. So okay, so your biggest issue was because you work out a lot was making sure that you get enough protein. So we started, and that first week, every morning you were having like I don't know how many eggs.
Oh, yo, the eggs fucked me up because I have a high sensitivity to eggs too. And I remember that one time I had like, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 eggs.
No.
Listen,
The
my
farts?
stomach the next day was
sorry.
like,
I'm sorry.
I haven't looked at
farts,
eggs the same ever since.
Yeah, the fart. Listen, the farts.
Okay, don't out me like that.
No,
People
but wait,
don't-
it was the same
I don't
for
fart,
me.
guys. I don't fart at all. That's not something that I do. I understand that other people do that stuff, but I'm just kidding.
It's not no,
I'm
but
human.
it was the same for me. Remember before we switched our diet, both you and I,
you
we
was
were
blowing shit up. I just wanted to make you laugh.
No, but wait, we were. It's like we were killing each other. And honestly, that's a part of the reason why I was
true.
like, this is not normal.
yeah.
Because it's like, how can you have that smell?
Yeah, but what is normal is, you know, if you can, you know, you can blast one around your partner. That's
normal.
a sign of
that's
healthy,
normal, even if
healthy
it
connection.
smells, you know. You
Yeah,
but the thing is,
but it
we
was
were killing
crazy. So, yeah, like we were bombing each other, just like
honestly.
a smell like that comes out of a cute thing like you.
No,
Like damn,
it was bad.
Yeah.
I can't believe we were intimate too. But no, okay, so no, the eggs, honestly. So at this point, when we switched our diet, and remember, okay, we were still having those kind of like farts. Okay, we all farts. Fuck that shit. We all fart. Okay, I'm pretty sure you're out there in your house farting on your bed. I remember one.
Everything. Your cat's
What?
laying on the bed and the cat gets up. Sorry.
Yeah, probably that. But you're at home, and
Cats
you
look
know
what
you're
the-
farting in your bed. And like we all know, okay, just like you don't you pretend you don't go to the bathroom, do a mean poop, whatever. We all know, we've been there.
Yeah.
We all poop, okay. So, but anyway, so even switching our diets, because we did 1 full month of like, okay, 1 full month we did plant-based.
Yeah.
And then we started the juicing. And even at that point, when we started the juice, right, we were still farting a little bit. It was better because your body also needs time to adapt to the changing diet.
and it's pushing, cleansing, everything, pushing everything out.
So I think we were better in the last 2 weeks.
The smells definitely weren't as deadly.
Yeah, definitely. It was better. And then after that, we started to juice. And then you were eating the eggs because you were afraid of the proteins. And then
Yeah.
every time you were eating the eggs, it's like those farts came back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it is eggs, right? You know,
Yeah.
and like I said, I have the sensitivity to them. But yeah, so
So why? So you didn't do 3. How was that first week? Because you were still flexible during it, so you didn't get the full effects, right? So why were you afraid of protein? What was your ideas about proteins?
So when it comes to the protein, obviously, yeah, I work out a lot, and obviously, you know, I've built, you know, muscle, and my whole thought process was just like, oh my gosh, like I've worked so hard to build this body, you know, and I know that if I assumed that if I like juiced for, I don't know, like a week straight, 2 weeks straight, that I am going to lose some muscle. Like I thought that I was going to lose a drastic amount of muscle because obviously I've been skinnier than I am before, and I just personally, like I just didn't like the way that I looked, right? So I didn't want that for myself. So it was definitely about whether I'd be able to get this the necessary amount of protein to retain the muscle mass that I had at the time. Yeah, that was my concern. So that's why I was eating the eggs to kind of like, you know, combat that. Yeah, but I see how that concern kind of got in the way of me afterwards, like experiencing, you know, the bliss of, you know, the juicing process, you know, when I did take it seriously. So yeah, it was that, because yeah, I understand that. I don't, you know, I don't like to eat a lot. Like I don't like big meals. I really don't even enjoy breakfast, you know? So if I had to, I don't know, have 12 juices a day, or like, I don't know, 15 big bowls of salad just to meet that protein requirement that I need, I just kind of saw it as an inconvenience, like in some kind of aspect, if you could understand that. Yeah.
Okay, so
so I was just severely concerned about just losing my progress, to be honest. That's what it was.
okay, so where do you think so? Again, that idea of proteins, right? Because to me, when I was looking at all the research and people talking about how people talk about protein is in the meat, and it's actually not, because even the cow itself actually doesn't eats the grass, and that's the grass that gives it its protein, right?
Yeah, and then the meat is actually the secondary protein. It's not the authentic. Yeah, that I already knew. I knew there was.
So why do you think everyone is? Because usually when people talk about protein, they talk about meat. It's like they're almost unaware that you can find it in seeds and beans and like chickpeas or lentils or like hemp seeds or like pumpkin seeds.
I think it's one of two things. One is, yeah, they're just not, they don't have that knowledge. You know, only someone who is, well, not only people who are vegan and plant-based, but, you know, people who have kind of an interest in that would have an understanding of it, or at least be aware. And then the second thing is just not wanting to change the way that they eat. You know,
I'm wondering too if actually vegans know, because
I would assume so.
yeah, and in some ways I'm like maybe not, because they also eat a lot of like the fake meat, right? The Beyond Beef and stuff like this as like a replacement.
But that, I mean, I don't want to say that just kind of came out recently.
That came out recently.
Yeah, like the fake burgers, the Beyonds and all that stuff.
Because before that they were so veganism was more out of like the love for the animal before that, you know, so there was no fake meat then, so they were actually mostly considered plant-based, and then the veganism movement was more of, it's like a movement for the animals, right? We don't want to kill the animals, whereas now some people, it's not for the love of the animals, it's more so for yourself, you know.
Yeah And I guess for some people, just, you know, for the sake of believing that they're eating, you know, healthy.
Yeah, and that's the thing, actually. Like, I think a big misconception is about usually that, being vegan is eating healthy. And that's why I think a lot of people who are vegan, in the beginning, they actually don't realize a lot of vegans are actually not in good shape, you know, and it's because you think just because it's vegan it's healthy. It's not. You're eating a lot of soy, you know, and there's a lot of research out there showing that soy is actually
still sugars, still, you know, the flours, the carbs and
stuff.
Yeah,
exactly.
And when it comes to like the fake meats and the fake sausages, you know, certain things have to be done for the fake meat to look and taste and feel the way that it does.
It's not natural. Okay.
And you know what, like I feel like often people don't flip the package around to actually read what's up in there, and then you start reading ingredients that you don't even know how to spell, or you don't even know how to pronounce. You don't even know what it is until you go Google it, and you're just like, "There's what in here?" Cryptochronic. Like, what is that? Google it, and it's some and you're just like,
Chronicles alike.
yeah, yeah, something that starts with Z and X and Y all in one. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I don't. I was. I can tell you definitely. I was not reading labels, and it's only when I started that I was like, now I fully understand how, when they say, oh, this is like, oh, this is what's in the package, right? They put it in big letters. And then when you flip back, it's actually one of the last ingredients. And you're like, wait, on the package, it says there's more tomatoes. But then when you look at the label, the tomato is amongst the end because the first ingredient is what there is more of. So if they
product
say there's
contains
more
more of
of tomatoes, and then you flip that stuff, and then the tomato is amongst like in the last line, you're like, it's false advertising. So you're not eating that. You're eating more of whatever is the first, second, third ingredient. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
was not reading labels. When I started, I was like, I think I really realized, oh, wow. Like,
yeah.
no,
Grocery
there's
shopping is different now.
yeah, there's always something in there that's added. Like you know,
Yeah.
things don't go bad, and you just the way you start thinking about food and the way you go grocery shopping, whatever you pick, you start really being picky.
Because you understand like how like certain the contents of the product, how it impacts your body.
Yeah.
And I say this a lot where it's like, regardless of what you're eating, I guess like people just see food as food.
Yeah,
Like they don't
Yeah.
understand that like their body is a world in itself, and it's taking those sugars, it's taking the it's taking those chemicals, and it's not just the burger. Yeah, it's
yeah.
not just
The
the
burger is like 3 salads, and would you eat those 3 salads? No, because you'll be full. And the thing is, I think part of it is that you think you see a burger and that it for some reason I was thinking that because it looks big, maybe there's kind of like fiber in it, and it doesn't make sense, right? But it's like, oh, it has fiber in it, even though there's just one piece of lettuce in there. But because it's big and
there's
fluffy,
sugar in the bread.
yeah, you think
Fake cheese and-
it's
no.
gonna make you full, and that's why people don't realize that. Like when you see a person who's obese, you tend to think that, oh, they're well fed. It's just they eat too much, right? But they're actually malnourished because they don't eat the good food. They eat a
Yeah.
lot of the bad foods, and most
Yeah.
of those foods are carbs, starches, like and sweet beverages, whatever.
Yeah.
They usually rarely eat like vegetables and fruits.
Yeah.
Where and that's kind of how we were eating before. We were having a lot more pasta, right? With the
Yeah.
pasta sauce,
Cheeses,
breads, you know what I mean? And we were eating vegetables all the time. It's just that the vegetable part of the plate was very little, whereas now it's completely it completely changed to the vegetable and the fruits are like the main part of the plate or the dish, and then the rest is just the little parts that are added.
Yeah, if we're gonna have like carbs, like we might have like one of our, like Michelle makes a lot of desserts, so we'll have things in the freezer. And we'll just like sugar free,
Flour free,
gluten free,
or gluten free flour, not refined flour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you were saying is that when people see the burger, they're just looking. In their mind, they're just looking at a burger. But when you gain understanding and knowledge, you're not just seeing a burger.
Yeah, you're seeing that, oh, like the only piece
you're seeing the meat, you're seeing the fat, you're seeing the chemicals. You're actually thinking like, oh, if I ingest this,
I know. Yeah, yeah. I know what, because what's supposed to help you digest is the vegetable, the fiber, and so it's almost non-existent in the burger. So the way I look at the
piece
burger,
of dry lettuce.
Yeah, the way I look at the burger right now is actually that it looks good, it smells good, it's delicious, but it's actually empty. There's nothing in there that is going to help my body work in whatever way
efficiently and effectively.
Yeah.
I mean, there are definitely there are definitely things in there, but not.
the
It's
bad
not.
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
yeah.
that's why I'm like we really need to realize, I think, that like it makes it just when you really start thinking about it, it actually makes sense. Your body is
It's
like
a temple.
is a temple, but it's like you need certain things to be able to function. You need air, you need water or hydration, right? Proper hydration, and
need
you need
love.
food.
Food and
But
love.
okay, yeah, you need love because without love. So I guess let's add a love, okay? And
Period.
if you don't breathe properly, it's a big problem. If you don't have enough water or hydration, it's a big problem.
It's not
If you
good.
eat bad food or food that is not, it's man-made, it's a problem because you're only going to be able to function at the level that food is. You know what I mean? If it's a burger, there's nothing in there, your body is still going to digest it, but you'll have the consequences of you feeling like you have the
crap.
itis,
Yeah.
you feel like crap, you want to go to
More
bed,
cravings because of the sugars
more
that are in there.
cravings, and then
Salts.
2 hours later you're already hungry because I mean it's not actually filling you, which is different than
It's not.
vegetables
It's not
and
even fueling them. You
Yeah.
know, like I think that the mindset needs to be shift from like something that's filling to something that's fueling.
But I think it's because we're still able to operate. And I think that's
Yeah.
what people don't realize is that you eat the food and you don't feel the consequences of it now. Unless
It
like
becomes
us,
a normality.
Yeah,
But when you
unless like
change
us,
your
yeah.
eating, you see, oh, I'm a little more effective in it. Maybe it's your mental health. Maybe your body feels better. Your I don't know, emotions. Maybe it's the way that you communicate and connect with people. Maybe it's inside your sleep or your sex life. You know, it's incorporated in many aspects, areas of someone's life.
But yeah, I think it's because we don't see the effect it has like right away, right?
Yeah.
We only see some of it because the body is very slow at showing you a sickness or a disease, like people like to call it, right? It's
Yeah,
gonna
something's
take
laid
10
dormant until just
Yeah.
you start seeing it.
It's gonna take 15, 20 years, for some people 30 years, to all of a sudden have like, oh, maybe you're sick now, you know? But you don't realize how much that food, because on the moment you ate it, it didn't let you know, hey, it's bad. Like maybe you had a stomach ache, but you thought, oh, it's just a stomach ache, because we have the habit of normalizing everything, right? Normalizing pain, you know, normalizing like women, oh, when we age, you know, like experiencing like hot flashes, whatever. We think it's normal, right? Painful periods, I mean, I have them, and I thought it was maybe just me, maybe it's normal to for some women
I
to
realize
have.
a lot of women have it.
Yeah, and it's not normal, right? So I think because when you eat the food, you don't see its effect on you because you've been used to eating that since you were a child, because your parents like, oh, well,
You don't see it in the short run. You see that in the long run.
and that's what people don't realize. It's only in your body's gonna digest it, try to protect you from it, but it can only deal with what you give it. And in 20 years now, you have to realize you might find yourself at the doctor hearing some shit you don't want to hear, because nowadays people are getting cancer in their 30s and
Crazy.
dying.
Yeah. People who are supposedly
Healthy.
healthy.
Like you. I
Yeah.
could look
God
at you.
forbid.
But I could look at you or someone
on
at
wood.
the gym, right?
Yeah.
And they look super fit.
Yeah, on the outside,
On
but you
the
don't know
outside.
what the organs look like, and
Exactly.
yeah, so you
Exactly.
yeah.
People
What
don't
you
know.
ingest
Yeah,
is
and I
important.
think a lot of this society is, oh, they look good, they must be healthy. You know what I mean? You look good, you must be healthy. Oh, there's no acne, there's no, oh, you know, your skin's so soft. Oh, your hairs look good. You know what I mean? You have a good
But how do
personality.
your lungs look? How
Yeah.
does that?
You don't smoke, you don't
That
drink.
actually sounds really weird. Like, how do
No,
your
but-
lungs look? How does your intestines look? Can I see?
But wait, no, but it's funny because like nowadays, you notice some people will go to the doctor and be like, oh, but I don't smoke and I don't drink.
It's not just smoking and drinking.
Yeah, and
What are you eating?
yeah, what are you eating? And then when you go on those websites, you realize like, oh, the Cancer Foundation and stuff, they're actually telling you to eat the same shit you're eating. Oh, if you were eating burger, sure, they'll tell you to avoid that, but they'll tell you in your diet it's okay to have meat, it's okay to have dairy. You know, it's okay to have like like flour, like bread, stuff like this. They'll tell you it's okay. You can go check it out now. It's on their website. You know what I mean? Meanwhile,
But they don't tell you to do that in moderation.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
no, they tell you that's the key. Basically, if you are on a, if you are the type of person who eats burgers and refined like foods, right, a
yeah,
lot,
processed
they'll,
foods and,
yeah,
yeah.
they'll tell you to still be on the meat. It's fine. The white rice is fine. The white bread is fine. You know,
That's because they need patience.
yeah. I mean, medicine is a business, right?
Yeah, it's a money
So,
business. They need patience.
Yeah, but okay, attention.
Yeah, we went on a long ass tangent. So.
Yeah, you gotta get used to it. But okay, so for me, my experience juicing was fun. I really like, you know, I woke up that first morning and then I was like, am I really gonna do this? I don't know if I can last 3 weeks, bro.
But you
Actually,
did.
yeah. Actually, I didn't put a time on it. I was like, I just want to make sure I lasted like longer than like a week or
Just
two.
take
You know,
it day by day.
yeah. And so I did it, and I was happy. Like, I had energy, and it's funny because at that same moment, I completely dropped my hormones. You know, like I actually didn't take hormones at all because I woke up that morning and I was like, you know what? I feel like I shouldn't be taking them at the same time that I'm cleansing. It just doesn't make sense. Now, I don't recommend that because
To each their own.
yeah, usually people will start decreasing their dosage, which I had, I started doing like 2 weeks before. I started doing like 1 day on, 1 day off. And then that same day that I was supposed to start the juicing, I was supposed to go 1 day on, 2 days off, right? And then slowly decrease to kind of let my thyroid just kind of transition smoothly. But then something told me like, oh, it just doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
So get off of it. And then at the same time, obviously we stopped wearing deodorant, right? I stopped using the eczema cream I was using. I started just focusing on like shea butter. Even for the shower, I bought like the
oil?
chemical free like soaps,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
All
love
this,
those.
like I started, the gloves even for the dishes, whatever. So I started making sure that on that cleanse, I was not exposed to these type of things that I could control, right?
Yeah.
And so I was surprised because the first week immediately I started like sleeping better. Like I can't remember before that the last time I slept this good, and since then I've been sleeping very well. I no longer have those like nights unless I eat something that's like different, right?
Yeah.
But that first week I had a lot of energy. The second week was very spiritual. You know, the third week, maybe I was getting bored a little bit, but I think that's because I was starting to look at food and the raw foods I could make. Right, so I was starting to
While
get
you're juicing.
I was excited about making raw foods and raw lasagnas and raw soups and like crackers that had no flours and stuff. Right, so I think at that point I started wanting to eat naturally because I was excited.
Yeah.
And so I started transitioning at that point. But I had no muscle pains. I was sleeping well. My stomach, like I was so flat. I lost weight, obviously. But my stomach
But you still look good, girl.
Yeah, thank you.
Bad as fuck.
Yeah, amen. But yeah, no, overall it was like a great experience. Like, like my physical was doing good. My mental was clear, and it felt different just because before that I felt like emotionally I was a little, I don't know,
Unbalanced, all over the place.
yeah,
just
all over the place.
unstable.
And no, there's something there. It was just an amazing experience. But then after that, so Ash only did like 1 week, right? And then we went back to foods, and then I remember we went to Arizona at the end of August or early September.
Yeah.
And then I told her
weekend.
I told her when we go back we should do another cleanse, and that she should really commit to it, to try, because I really wanted her to feel what I felt. because I knew that she would benefit from it, right? I also did not want to force her, obviously, but as my partner, like I want to be with someone who's healthy too, right? Just like you, if I was at home never going to the gym and not working out and putting on weight or whatever, for you it's something that you wouldn't want, because
I
you
don't,
take care of
yeah,
yourself
I
in
wouldn't,
that way, right? Not that we're saying, oh, go to the gym, whatever, we're not judging that, but in our relationship, right, she pays close attention to herself in that way. She takes care of herself by going to the gym, and this has helped her mentally, right? So for me, if I'm constantly at home, I'm eating or I'm going out and I'm never exercising in whatever
Yeah.
way, because she knows it's good for me, obviously she wants that for me, because mentally she saw the benefits, and so for me it would have helped, right?
Yeah,
And so I
generally
started,
it's good. It's good. You know, human beings, we need to get off our ass and move around.
yeah, well,
You
yeah,
don't need to go lift
definitely.
weights and, you know, be a bodybuilder or anything like that.
Just move your
get
body.
Up, yeah, get up from the desk and go for a walk.
Yeah. So I just wanted you as my partner to experience what I had experienced, and see then after that what you want to do, because it's only with that experience that you can say, oh yeah, it actually didn't work for me, I don't like it, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, while we were in Arizona, we ate lots of fruits and
Yeah, we did a lot.
yeah,
A lot
it
of
wasn't
fruits.
until our last night I think we got like a
Pizza.
pizza or something like that.
We did have a wrap. We did have chick-fil-A. You wanted to try chick-fil-A.
It's a Chick-fil-A.
What? How do you say
That's
it?
the French Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A? So whatever it's
Chick-fil-A.
called, you know, burgers and fries. Just imagine if there's a restaurant just called burgers and fries. Like,
I mean, generic. That's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
It works.
It's straightforward and to the point. Anyways, to refocus. Yeah, so I became excited to try, and I was committed for a week straight, and I think it
No,
was
you did 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, 2 weeks, two weeks.
So now, how was that experience?
Oh,
From the first one, because the first one you were doubtful,
Yeah.
you took eggs. So now,
Yeah.
after those 2 weeks, like during those 2 weeks, when did your mind kind of like, oh, I like it?
Oh, to be honest, I think I started to like it when I saw how it was getting me snatched. Like, because like, just if I could go on this small little tangent here, you know, so it's just like, I'm trying to make my muscles more visible, my abs and stuff. And I'm like struggling with that one layer. When I went on juicing, like by the third day I woke up and I was like, damn, like I was like chiseled. So that's why I want to start that again real soon, because every time I fall off of it, it's good. Yeah. Anyways. So yeah, the first time I did it, I was flexible, right? Now, if I could compare it to when I was, diligent, you know, a good 2 weeks. The differences that I noticed are obviously physical, right? I noticed that I didn't lose a lot of my muscle. I noticed some, you know, in some areas.
And that's because I'm interjecting here, because some people think everyone's gonna lose a lot of weight. Some people end up losing a lot of weight, and a lot of the time you just need to understand that you're losing a lot of water retention,
Yeah.
but you're also losing the weight that is bad weight. So I didn't lose a lot of weight. Ash didn't lose a lot of weight, which is the thing she was afraid of.
Yeah, and if you could just kind of clarify to our listeners here, like, what is bad weight?
Well, let's just say that I think everyone has that little belly, you know what I mean? That they're trying to get rid of.
Like the stubborn
The
fat
stubborn
type of-
fat, yeah.
Ah,
So you know,
okay,
you can be at the gym exercising, you have that little belly that never goes away, and you eat healthy and you exercise several times a week and you sweat, but that fat doesn't want to go away. And a lot of the time it has to do with people fail to realize that we all need to cleanse.
Yeah,
It's not,
I understand now.
it's not like even the people, even us, even people who eat plant-based, we still need to cleanse inside of our bodies, like internally, by giving our digestive system a break.
Yeah.
And when you give it a break, I think we also need to know, because it's in books and old books too, is that we have about from 15 to 20, 25 amounts of like shit
Crazy.
in our like body, in our belly. And sometimes
And it's just queuing up.
yeah, and the worst thing is sometimes it's not even visible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You see someone, they're slim, but we still have this amount of fat because we constantly eat and eat and eat and eat. And most of us go to the bathroom only once a day, but you eat 3 meals a day. You're constipated. You should be, for the amount of food for the amount of food, yeah, I guess plates or whatever
Meals. Yeah.
you eat every day, you should go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Because your stomach is actually not supposed to have waste staying in there. It's supposed to, you eat, you digest it, it comes out. You eat, you digest it, it comes out. But most of us, it actually stays in. And that's the fat I'm talking about. That stubborn fat that stays in your body that you're trying to eliminate is just not coming out.
Yeah. So on that note, that is something that I experienced as well. Like I mentioned in the past, I was having frequent bowel movements. But I did notice I noticed even though the bowel movements continued, there was less pain.
Okay.
I didn't, like I said, I would feel like it would be uncomfortable.
Yeah, I see what the pain you're talking about.
Yeah. So and I would go to the bathroom like not immediately, but relatively like quick after the meal, just like consistently. So being on the doing the juicing, I mean, you're not having solids, right? It's just the juice. So you know you're peeing a lot, you know. So I did notice that like I've always typically had I don't want to call it an issue, but like I've always, you know, struggled with like my water retention. So that's what I mean also, like when it comes to like noticing the physical changes that it was having on me is a lot of that water weight was just coming out. Things were just it was just nice to give my digestive system a break. As far as energy, in the very beginning, it was a struggle with energy in that 1 week. When I tried juicing for the very first time, but I was flexible.
Yeah.
So I struggled a lot with my energy. So at some point at work, like I would have to like go to the vending machine and like get some nuts or like something with sugar, you know, just to kind of keep me up, because you know I have a long schedule in school, and then it was during the summer, so I was doing the 2 jobs, right? So it was, you know, at some point you're gonna crash. But going to the second time I did it, where I was consistent for 2 weeks, energy was not a problem. Energy was not a problem. I thoroughly enjoyed like having that big ass bottle of like juice, you know, just drinking it. And like even though I found it inconvenient that I had to go to the bathroom, you know, multiple times in a day, it just felt so good because I was just kind of like, oh, it's like, you know, clearing out, you know, like whatever that needs to be cleared out, it's coming out. Yeah.
And I want to say also, because it would have been normal for you to also, or for me, to experience fatigue in the beginning, or some people will experience like migraine, headaches, you know.
The body's just not used to being off that refined sugar
so,
and stuff.
Yeah, so you will be tired, you will be fatigued, maybe you'll puke, maybe you'll have some sort of reaction that people will think, oh, I'm sick, this is making me sick. And that's when they'll get scared and they'll quit because they think that,
It's
that
a bad
juicing,
sign.
it's a bad sign.
It's a good sign.
And usually it is actually a good sign because
Yeah.
when you think about it, before you get better, you have to go through something. It's not just that easy.
Before the sunshine, there's the rain, right?
Yeah, you need to. I think at that point you need to realize you've been constantly feeding your body 3 times a day for all your life. You know, if you're 20, if you're 30, just imagine like the amount of meals you ate, right? And so it's not
and
fair.
the types of meals.
Yeah.
Like the body is consistently processing food. Like the body is working overtime 24 hours a day.
And it's not fair to assume that, just because you're doing this healthy thing, all of a sudden it has to go well. And you don't want to experience pain, or you won't experience pain, and if you do, it's not normal. No, you're used to eating a certain way. You got your body used to that. It doesn't mean it's the right way, right? But your body got used to what you give it, and so obviously when you go towards something that's better for it, even if it's better, it's still going to have an effect on you in the beginning, and it's called detoxifying.
Yeah, and it's called life. Life, there's pain in life too, no?
Yeah.
I think people want things to be just straightforward and very easy.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think we want it to be easy, and it's not. And I think that's why we run away from it. Like I've been telling you, January, I want to do like the 3 month, and I don't like saying that it's hard, because it's not hard. I keep telling you that it's your mentality, like how you think about it. It's
don't
not
tell your
hard.
brain that it's going to be hard, because it'll believe that shit and make it hard for you.
Yeah, it's not hard. It's just that, like, the process itself is not hard. It's just that you realize that you're addicted to food, right? So the idea of maybe eating less or eating one fruit only for a certain amount of time, it's scary, because you won't have that opportunity to, like, even though you do, but you're gonna
have free will.
Yeah, you have free will. So it's not hard, but it's a little scary, because you're like, oh my God, I already know what it's gonna feel like. You know what I mean? Do I want to do it to myself? So I'm like, I'm kind of dreading it, but I also know at the end of the 3 months it'll be amazing, right? So where was I going with this?
I don't know. I was lost listening to you. Oh, people wanting things to be easy.
Yeah, so I think that's why we run away from it, is because we know, like, restricting yourself.
Yeah.
It's almost like, even though it's not painful to your body, it's painful to your mind.
Yeah.
Because you're not used to it. And so it's like, you don't, when you're with your parents, they can tell you, even if you don't want to do something, you have to do it. Right? You don't have a choice. But when you're an adult, you fail to be hard on yourself sometimes. When you have to do something that's good for you, we fail to do it. Right? And I think sometimes people have to understand that we need to be our own parents. We need to put our...
Period, because no one is going to parent you. I'm sorry.
No one is... If you're counting on your doctor, doctors are also eating the same shit you are eating,
Some of them, not all of them.
No, definitely not all of them.
But they also need patience.
Yeah, they also need
patience. They need you to be sick.
Yeah, they need you to medication. And most of the time when you start a medication, you get on another medication and then on another one. And then you have people taking fucking 17 medications.
Yeah,
they only started
pills.
with one.
When they wake up, as soon as the sun's up, the alarm goes off.
Yeah.
Pill bottle number 1, pill bottle number 2. And
yeah.
You know what I mean? People have different, life circumstances. So, any reason that they need to take pills, we're not judging or discriminating against, any of that, right? But yeah, that's typically how it works. That if are doctors necessary without patience?
No, and it's a business, and
it's more of a business now. Yeah. But anyways, I feel like that's a topic for another.
Yeah, definitely. But so just. That experience, I feel like everyone should, be willing to try it.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a freaking 21 days, just 3
even
days.
For shits and giggles, just
Yeah,
Try it. Do
3 days a
one day,
month.
2 day.
Yeah, one day you
See
only
what you're
eat
capable of.
fruits. Yeah, one day you only eat fruits, or one day you only juice, or you just give your system a break, because giving your system a break means that your body is actually going to tend to the other things it can do, like healing you when it's not digesting. Digesting is taking 50% of your body's energy. It's constantly digesting, right? So think about what it could do when it's actually not digesting, and the benefits you could reap off of it.
I also feel like it's a part of like training your mind and your body.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
now the way I think the way I think about food now, like I've been telling you, sometimes I'm like, oh, I want something, like, oh, I want the pizza, or maybe I want this, and I recognize that
Yeah.
you're having a little craving, but is it really like the coffee? Like, I kind of want coffee, but do I really want it? Like, wait, what's the
Yeah.
best option? Do I really want the coffee? And then I'm gonna go to the coffee shop, and then I reach the cashier, and I'm like, you know what? I actually don't want the coffee. I want something warm, like a tea.
It's
Is
them
fine.
damn parasites. It's the damn It's not you that's making those. It's them damn parasites. They're just like, we want pizza. We want hamburger. Yes, that's what
But
we
now
want.
wait,
And then
but
you get to
now-
the cashier, just like, that wasn't me though. Those weren't my thoughts. This motherfucking parasites.
No, that's true though.
I just like to
That's
joke
true.
around.
No, that's true. No, but when you think about it, you don't know. You never fully know when you are yourself. You never know who am I really.
Yeah, are your
Because-
thoughts even your own? But I
Yeah.
feel like that's a topic that's a good topic.
No, that's true.
Yeah, also a philosophical topic.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
true. You know what? Maybe you can research some. What's the book called that I need to read? But I watched her lecture. Your brain on parasites.
Yeah, yeah.
Telling you
yes.
that basically how people don't realize their actions, sometimes their cravings, whatever, the way
It's
you
because
react.
that's what the parasites want.
Yeah, and yes, we do have parasites inside our bodies, and guess what? It's absolutely normal. The cats have it, the dogs have it, the animals have it, and that's why even the animals get dewormer at the vet. It's because they have parasites in them. We're a living organism, right? So if you eat the meat, if you eat plant-based, if you touch things through your skin or whatever, you're gonna get parasites. It's natural. But we fail to realize that, unfortunately, those parasites can affect your cravings.
And it could accumulate.
And
if
they
you wanna
can
keep on
accumulate
eating,
because they
you
make
know?
babies in that shit.
Yeah.
And then
Technically, you're pregnant. If you put... No.
no, that's kind of weird.
Oh,
I don't
okay,
want to
never mind.
imagine like
I was trying to make that a
1,200
good joke, but I think I could have done better.
I don't want to imagine like 1,200 like fucking parasites making
It's-
1,200
you
babies.
just explode and it's all parasites. Imagine just like, oh, my stomach, what's going on? And then your stomach rips open. It's all parasites. Oh my gosh.
Ah, God.
Sorry guys, I went there. That's my overactive imagination working.
Yeah, and I saw
Anyways.
that too. Anyways, but yeah, so yeah, I guess that was that's pretty much our experience. I feel like
Yeah.
we would have a lot to talk about, and obviously we can't do it in one session. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, stay tuned for part 2.
hey,
Yeah, of this. Yeah, I really enjoyed this process.
you like hearing your own voice.
No, not really. No. What I really like about this is just I really like how through sharing stories, you never know who you're touching, you know, who you're impacting. Maybe there's someone that's going to stroll upon this little, audio and get something out of it. Yeah, you never know. So that's what makes me joyful about, being on here and sharing my experience. So yeah, thank you for allowing me to speak on your platform.
Look at that. She has a very nice smile.
Of course, I have a nice smile. Of
Okay.
course.
Okay, well, I'm happy. And I mean, I feel like we have a lot to talk about because we usually talk a lot. anyways, in general, about a lot of shit that is happening, you know.
Yeah. And, it's typical. If you're the type of person that talks a lot, you should just start a podcast. I'm just kidding. Yeah, if you talk a lot, just go on Amazon and get you a mic. Just start talking. But there are some people out there that like someone needs to take the mic away.
No, that's true. That's true.
Just because you have a lot of ideas doesn't mean you need to start a podcast.
Well, then wait. So that means what? That means do you? Because then how do you know? How do these people know? They shouldn't be talking out loud.
I don't know, man. Everyone has free will. Just do what you want. If someone doesn't like what you're saying, then they could choose not to listen to it.
There's always going to be someone to like it. That's the
thing.
Definitely.
There's definitely someone who's going to listen to this and be like, what the I was just about to cuss real bad. Like, what are these ladies talking about? They're going to be like, what?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyways, it's not our problem. Sounds like a them problem.
Yeah. We're just here to share our views, and it's our views. We're open to other people's views.
Yes.
But this is just how we live our lives. We're just trying to explain where we're coming from.
Is there, sorry, quick question. Is there a way for listeners to comment or?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. So
because
I'm
putting it on Spotify and YouTube.
Ah, very nice. So Raw-ganism is going to be on Spotify and YouTube. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you... We need to have our own thing.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out as it comes. Yeah. But yeah, we're open-minded. Michelle, obviously you're an open-minded person. So if you, any commentary, don't feel like this is like the Bible and it's like.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
That I would need a few other episodes to talk about the Bible.
Yeah, we could save that topic for another day.
Or maybe not, because it's very controversial subject.
Yeah. Are you gonna choose to be controversial or not? Are you gonna shake things up or?
I don't know, because this is a flow cast. Okay, I'm coming on here. I have some notes to kind of, because I could go on a tangent, and I want to go on tangents, but I also
like the one we're on right now.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is a podcast. You go with the flow, you know what I mean?
Period,
you come with like maybe a certain subject that you want to talk about, but then you also allow yourself to like go on another subject. Like it's not structural like that. I don't want to feel like, oh, we need to talk about this.
We
and
allow
that next
ourselves
question.
to go there.
Yeah. So like don't if there's no one listening, it's fine. No. But if there's someone listening, don't come down there and be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. No, everyone has their own opinion. I value yours. You can value mine or not. I don't care. But everyone is living their different lives, their different ways, and
to each their own.
Yeah, that's
literally.
It. That's why we are who we are. That's what makes this world.
All that we do ask though is that you like and you follow. All right.
I was not even gonna ask that. If you don't
I'm going to ask because of your part. So y'all, if you're listening to this, you better like and you better follow.
Okay. So
that is a threat, yes.
Okay, so wait. So what is, I'll put your Instagram, but what is your Instagram? First of all, what's your full name?
You want me to, my full name is on my Instagram.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
So do I still give out my Instagram? They're just gonna go Google me and be like, "Oh yeah, she's over there." And
if you lives here. If you want to see how badass she looks while she's working out, yeah,
that's true. Okay,
some good inspiration.
My Instagram is Ashley P Dodd. That's ASHLEY PDODD. That's my Instagram. A lot of people call me Miss DODD. Yeah, or Miss Double D's. But I don't have double D's though.
No, she doesn't. Maybe you used to.
No, she doesn't. Of course you would know that. So yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram or, get inspired, see some fitness stuff, then you go ahead and do that. If that's what you like and that's what you want.
Okay. Well, Ash, thank you for being present. And we really appreciate having you here on the Flowcast. And
Thank you for having me.
you're welcome. Welcome. Thank you. And I was not trying to imitate any accent. But yeah, thank you.
I was thinking, you better stop that. Someone might get offended. Are we
Yeah.
trying to be controversial? I mean, I have a dark sense of humor, so
Yes.
all the jokes right now, that's just light work.
That's true. She's trying to keep it in.
I'm keeping it contained.
She is. She is.
I'm not trying to get my partner canceled too fast.
I will still
I'm
find
just
a way to
kidding.
get out.
I'm just
But
kidding.
yeah. So yeah, thank you for listening, and then we surely hope you have a blessed day or night or morning or afternoon, whatever time of the day you're listening to this. And yeah, we'll be back. I feel like Ashley will be back too, because I think she really enjoyed talking. And Ashley has a lot of good talks and topics, and just good quotes and good reasoning and good philosophies and good all that stuff that you want to hear, like motivational speaking and stuff. Like,
And the real deal. I'm just a real ass bitch.
Yeah.
I'm give it to you straight.
yeah, not too straight though. I feel like I'm getting better at jokes. Then I
That
make
was a
you
good
laugh.
one. That was a good one.
Okay, I didn't think you would laugh.
No, that was funny.
Okay. Okay. Well, my throat is tired because talking a lot is actually tiring. So yeah, but yeah, thank you, and then we'll see you soon.
Bye bye.
Morning, bye.
Good day, good evening, or good night.